Hello everyone, welcome to Clarity for Sure, an Agri Clarity YouTube channel, and I welcome you all to this series of concept clarity. Today in this video we are going to discuss one of the important topics from your fisheries syllabus, that is classification of fish, Nelson method. This classification of fish is important from both your NABARD and AFO exams point of view. So without any further delay, let's get started. Now let us quickly go through the basics related to the fish. So what is a fish? Fish is an aquatic cold-blooded vertebrates with gills that allow them to breathe underwater. So what are the general features of a fish? The fish typically have a body in the shape of fusiform. That means a spindle shaped body which is specifically designed for its efficient movement in the water. As I said earlier, fish use gills as their primary respiratory organ, which allows them to extract oxygen from water. And the scales, what are the use of scale? The scales actually protects the fish body and it also aids in its movement. Fins are used for the propulsion, steering and to have a balance in the water. And fish, as already said in the first sentence, that it is a cold-blooded, that is it is an ectothermic organism. What is an ectothermic organism? It is an organism, this type of organism actually rely on the surrounding environment to regulate their body temperature. So having a gist of this particular slide, a fish is an aquatic cold-blooded vertebrate, which vertebrate in the sense which have a backbone with gills that allow them to breathe underwater. Now quickly coming to the history of classification of fish. See, when we talk about the history of classification of fish, the golden age of fish is the Devonian period. This is very important. And who is known as the father of ichthyology? Ichthyology is nothing but the study related to the fish and its surrounding environment. So a Swedish naturalist called Peter Adredi is known as the father of ichthyology. Why he is known as the father of ichthyology? Because he have established a perfect method and principle for the systemic study related to fish and its surrounding environment. And when we talk about the classification in particular, there is one prominent scientist which we need to know is the Cuvier, who was the first to frame the classification of fish based on the fish internal and external characters. And there are some more prominent scientists who have contributed to this classification of fish in general. So some of the important scientists are Muller, Jordan, Reagan, Berg, Roman and Nelson. And this Nelson method is considered to be the recent classification of bony fishes, and currently the Nelson classification of fish is in practice. Okay. Now coming to the Nelson classification of fish. See, Nelson has presented the classification of fish in a linear order which actually reflects their evolutionary relationship, which is known as the cladistic approach. This this classification given by Joseph S. Nelson is given in his renowned book named Fishes of the World, and the current edition we are following is the 5th edition. This classification of fish provided by Nelson is one of the most comprehensive taxonomic system for the fishes. And what is the specific point related to this classification? This classification emphasizes on the evolutionary relationship using both the morphology and molecular data. And we all want to know a specific thing related to a classification in this Nelson method. That is, there is a class called Actinopterygii, under which we have a group called Teleostei. This Teleostei group is the most diverse and it actually contains the majority of fish species that we know today. Okay. This is in general about the Nelson classification, that is the background of the Nelson classification of a fish. Now coming to the exact Nelson classification of fish. See, Nelson has classified fishes into 6 classes and 85 orders, and out of this 6, 2 are already extinct. So He has classified the fish into 6 orders, where 2 are extant and 85 orders. He also reintroduced a class called Octaichthyes. Okay, he also reintroduced a class called Octaichthyes, and which was previously represented by separate classes like class of Actinopterygii and class of Sarcopterygii. Okay, now coming to the classification of Nelson. See, we know that the phylum of fish belongs to Chordata. Okay, and the classes which Nelson has specifically spoke about was, one is Myxini, and second is Petromyzondita, and third is Chondrichthyes, fourth is Placodermi, 5 is Octaichthyes, and 6 is Acanthodi. Okay, this Placodermi and Acanthodi are extant. Now, in these 4 classes, the 4 classes are also divided. See, this Myxini and Petromyzondita belongs to a superclass called Agnatha. What is the characteristic of this superclass Agnatha? It is a jawless fish. Okay, this is a jawless cartilaginous fishes. Okay, and we have another superclass called Gnathostomata, which means the jawed fish. Okay, the superclasses jawless and jaw. And coming to the classes under the superclass of Gnathostomata, the first is Chondrichthyes, where these are jawed cartilaginous fishes, and this Octaichthyes are jawed bony fishes. Okay, what is the difference? We said that in this class the fishes are cartilaginous. What is meant by cartilaginous? What is meant by cartilage? Cartilage is nothing but the flexible connecting tissue. Instead of bone, the body of the fish is connected through cartilages. Okay, here the body of the fish is the skeleton is the bony fish. Okay, so this is the difference between the cartilaginous fish and the bony fish. And this bony fish is again divided into 2 subclasses, that is your Actinopterygii and Sarcopterygii. Okay, this Actinopterygii are ray-finned fishes. Okay, these are ray-finned fishes, and this Sarcopterygii are lobed fin fishes. We will see what is a ray fin, what is a lobed fin, and all in the upcoming slides. And I hope you remember I was mentioning a group called Teleostei that comes under this Actinopterygii, which is actually a more diverse group and which is more evolved in nature. Okay, so 6 classes, out of which 2 is already extant, and 85 orders. Reintroduced a class called Octaichthyes, and out of these 6 classes, 2 belongs to Agnatha, that is jawless, and another 2 belongs to the superclass of Gnathostomata. One is the cartilaginous and another is the bony fish. Okay, that bony fish is again divided into ray finned and lobed fin, and Teleostei under this Actinopterygii, that is ray finned, is the most evolved and diverse group of fishes that we see today belong to this group called Teleostei. I hope the Nelson classification is clear to you now. Please take a screenshot of this particular slide, and this will be very useful for your revision purpose. Whatever points that are important from exam point of view has been dealt in detail in this particular slide. Now coming to the specific superclass of Agnatha, as I already told, it is a jawless, cartilaginous, finless vertebrates. Okay, under this we have seen 2 classes, that is class Myxini and class Petromyzondita. Okay, this class Myxini, example of this class Myxini is hagfish, and they dwell in the marine ecosystem, and these are jawless scavengers. Since they are jawless, their feeding range is very limited. Okay, and this actually secretes slime as a defense mechanism. This is very, very important. And these are known as craniates, which means they are not true vertebrates. Okay, and Under the class, we have see under the class of Petromyzondata, the example is a lamprey, and this lampreys are jawless, and these are parasitic or filter feeding vertebrates. Okay, it uses tooth head and it has a funnel like sucking mouth to latch onto the host. This is found both in the freshwater and in the marine environment. It undergo a process called metamorphosis from the larval stage. So under this class of superclass Agnatha, we have seen the jawless cartilaginous finless vertebrates. Okay, these are most of primitive in nature, and we have seen an example related to a class Myxini and how that hagfish, the characteristic features of hagfish, and in class Petromyzondata we have seen this lampreys and the characteristics and the feeding habits of this particular lampreys. So this is about the superclass of Agnatha, that is jawless. Now coming to the superclass of Gnathostomata, it is a jawed fish and it is a vertebrate. Okay, it has a jaw and a pad fin which allowed for a broader range of feeding behavior. This is very, very important. This is a keyword and adaptation. And we have seen this cartilaginous fishes under the class of Congreichthyes, okay, which in which the skeleton is made up of cartilage rather than bone. What is a cartilage? We have already seen that in the previous slide, that it is a flexible connecting tissue. Okay, that is the difference between the class Congreichthyes and the class of Octeichthyes. Okay, and we have subgroups also. But what you have to note about this particular cartilaginous fishes are the examples or the fish that belong to this particular class. The examples include sharks, skates, rays also. Okay, this is an example for your cartilaginous fishes. Now coming to the most important class of Octinopterygii, the major class here, the reintroduced class here is Octeichthyes, that is the bony fishes. Here again that is divided into Actinopterygii and Sarcopterygii. This Actinopterygii is a ray-finned fish. Okay, this is the most diverse group of fish with a bony skeleton. They have fins supported by bony rays. Okay, like this, the bony rays in its body. Okay, in this we have certain subclasses, but one important subclasses which we have to note is this subclass of Neopterygii, because under this Neopterygii only the group called Teleostei comes. We know that this Teleostei is the most diverse group, including most of the modern bony fishes like tuna, perch, salmon and goldfish. This Teleos represents the most evolved fish species with diverse adaptations. So whenever you study the Nelson classification or classification of fish in general, this Actinopterygii and this Teleostei becomes important, because most of the fish which we are going to study today or which we know today belongs to this particular class. Okay, next comes the class of Sarcopterygii, that is the lobed fin. What is a lobed fin? They have a fleshy lobed fins that are joined to the body by a single bone structure. Fleshy lobed fins. These are the keyword. And what are the subgroups of this? Here we have this subgroup called Tetraphodomorpha, where this subgroup includes fishes like lungfishes, coelacanth, which are considered to be the ancestor for tetrapods. So we know what are tetrapods are. Tetrapods are the four-leg vertebrates that actually evolved into other amphibians, reptile, birds and mammals. Okay, this is a lobed fin fish and the example includes the lungfish and coelacanth. So this is about the class Sarcopterygii under the reintroduced class by Nelson called Octeichthyes. I hope this Sarcopterygii class is also clear to you. Now, a big question comes, how this classification, how Nelson classification differs from other classification. See, earlier classifications were based on only the morphological traits. Morphology in the sense either the skeleton or the fin type or the body shape. There were no any molecular or genetic data. Whatever they have observed, just whatever they are observing, they have made a classification based on that. most of the classification before Nelson were focusing upon only the external appearance with less emphasis on the evolutionary relationship, and they relied on artificial grouping. I mean, in the sense like they mixed all the related species into a different group rather than providing a separate class, separate order to that particular fish species. Okay, but what makes the Nelson method more significant to the contemporary times? Because it actually integrates the evolutionary relationship using the phylogenetics and the molecular evidence. It means the data is more refined, which used both the fossil and genetic data. Most important thing which I was telling you regarding the class also, see, it actually recognized the distinct evolutionary lineages such as ray finned and lobed fin fishes. It provides more precise grouping, in the sense precise family orders, superorders based on the evolutionary history of a particular fish. In this way, the Nelson classification differs from its previous classification of the fishes by rest all scientists. Okay, so we were talking about the types of fish, many types of fish. So this is an example for a jawless fish. Okay, because of this jawless nature, they have a limited feeding habit, and this is a jawed fish. Okay, because they have jaw, they have a variety, broader variety of feeding habit, and this is a ray finned fish. Okay, supported by the bony skeleton, and this is the lobed fin fish. See, a fleshy lobe and connected to a single bony structure. Okay, so this is the jawless, this is jaw, this is a ray fin, and this is the lobed fin. And most of the contemporary time, whatever fish we know now belongs to the belongs to the group of teleostei under the class called Actinopterygii. Okay, so this is about the types of fish. Now quickly we will make a gist of whatever we have learned from the previous slide. We know that teleostei, see, this is very important. Teleostei under the Actinopterygii is the most diverse infraclass containing most of the fish species today. And Sarcopterygii we know, which includes the ancestors of amphibians, reptiles, birds and mammals. And Agnatha we know it is a jawless fish and they are primitive and rare. Now Indian examples to the cartilaginous fishes and bony fishes are, we know this, spade nose shark, stingray, sawfish, and bony fish, that is Actinopterygii of teleostei group, are rohu, katla, hilsa, Indian mackerel and tilapia. See, along with the common name, you have to remember the scientific name also. So these are the Indian examples. Whenever there is a question related to which of the following is are the bony fish that belongs to Indian waters, and there will be many options and you have to choose the correct option. Okay, that is about, that is all about this Nelson classification of fish applying to the Indian fishes. Okay, now we will have a quick knowledge check of whatever we have learned in the slide, in the previous slides. I hope you are now in a better position to answer the questions that are being provided in front of you after attending this lecture. So first question is, which of the following is the most diverse infraclass under the superclass of Gnathostomata in Nelson classification system? Please let me know the answer in the comment section below. See, we know this most diverse group of Gnathostomata in Nelson classification. I have mentioned this many times in the slide also, in the lecture also. So let me know the correct answer in the comment box. Next, according to Nelson classification, which of the following fish belongs to the superclass of Agnatha? And I have mentioned the name of this particular fish also in the lecture. So if you have attended the lecture with a focused with focus, you will be able to answer this question without any difficulty. The third question is, which of the following Indian fish species belong to the infraclass of teleostei under the subclass called Actinopterygii according to Nelson classification? And you can easily eliminate the options because we were talking about the cartilaginous fishes and bony fishes. Applying that knowledge here, you will be able to answer this question also without any difficulty. So kindly provide all the answers, all the three answers in the comment section below. So before winding up this session, I would like to tell you regarding the AFO 24/7 test series for 25-26 by Clarity for Sure. What do you get in this test series? You will get a block-wise test. Every day you will be solving questions, 30 quality questions every day, which spans from easy to difficult level, and you have a full length test also on every Sunday where you will be getting 60 quality questions that mirrors the actual AFO examination. We also provide QRE sessions to your test series, which will aid you to sail through your prelims, because prelims is about your QRE. So if you're looking for any good test series for this AFO 24/7, the upcoming AFO examination, you can subscribe to a test series, which the link will be given in the description box. So kindly get enrolled to this test series to get the maximum benefit, because the test has been designed in such a way that it actually caters to the demand of the actual IBPS AFO examination. And we are also having this NABARD Grade A 2025 Mentorship and Test Series program, where you will be getting the regular classes, updated notes, high quality test, and you will have a interview guidance also. Clarity for Sure has a distinct record with NABARD Grade A, mentorship program, and we are here to replicate that again for our upcoming NABARD Grade A 2025 and the upcoming IBPS AFO 2025 examination as well. So get yourself enrolled now with the link that is being given in the description box, so that you will able to give yourself best at the actual examination. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching this video. Kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel Agri Clarity, and also subscribe to our Agri Clarity Telegram channel, where you will be getting the updates related to the examination, and you will be getting free content for daily basis, 5 MCQs and cards for your revision. And we have started with this lecture series also, which will be very useful for you in a long run, so that all your revision will be done through this particular lecture series. So thank you so much for watching this video. Uh, all the very best for your upcoming examination. Prepare well. I will meet you with yet another video. Thank you so much. Have a great day.